Joining us now is Conservative MP and former British Army captain Johnny Mercer. Hi, thanks for coming in. I would hazard a guess that the large majority of our viewers watching this programme now couldn't give a flying fig about what happens to these people. But some people do seem to have concerns about them. Do you? Do you think they should be given a second chance when they come back?
I think what Rory's comments have shown us is that, this is a debate people want to have, but also he's not advocating going outside the law. He's just stating a fact.
Just to be clear, this is the international development.
Yes, that actually dealing with these people is a deep challenge. A lot of them want to die. A lot of them have taken up arms against this country, and dealing with them in theatre to keep the UK safe is not a prospect we should shy away from. No. At the end of the day, people who voted for us expect us to do that.
Well, I don't think anyone's arguing or suggesting that they shouldn't be shot at if they're shooting at us or they're bearing arms against our allies. The question seems to be, what do we do when they put their guns down and say, I want to come home?
Well, again, that's not what Rory was advertising in what he was saying. Clearly, you have to abide by the rule of law, right? So if someone surrenders or there's another way of getting hold of them and you can put them on trial, then clearly, we deal with them in a legal and lawful manner. But the point is around these drone strikes and so on is that if they are, we must never shy away from the fact that if they are a threat to the UK and there's an opportunity to deal with these people, we should get on with it. We shouldn't shy away with that. Absolutely. Yeah. And that's what the people who vote for us expect us to do, to keep them safe. But this isn't advocating some sort of all-out execution of anyone who's ever been to Syria. The idea you can sort of go out there as well,
and round them up and
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And there's this sort of misperception. You can go out there, sort of stumble along, not really know what you're doing, and suddenly get droned. I mean, it just doesn't really happen. You've got a massive intelligence profile. To conduct these strikes is enormously difficult. It's slightly sort of degrading to the intelligence community to suggest that it's just some sort of random act. It's not. It's a precise, scientific, professional operation to keep UK citizens safe. And I support Michael and Fallon and everyone else who's involved in that process.
You fought in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
What were the hairiest moments for you, and when were there moments that have you had to target a British citizen who's out?
I'm not going to comment on things like that. I have conducted drone strikes, yeah, and been involved in the targeting and the sort of weapons release on that. And look, all I would say.
Do you know who you're targeting? I mean, do you get told there's a British citizen down there who needs to be taken out?
I don't want to get into the targeting of individuals, but of course you know who you're going after. It's not some sort of random act, and everything is very, very precise, and you are, constantly ticking off sort of what we call triggers to try and make sure, the intelligence is correct, but the targeting is correct, that no one's getting hurt who doesn't need to.
Tell me about your emotional state when you give the command to fire the drone. I mean, it's obviously completely different from a hot-blooded firefight out on the ground, boots on the ground. You're in an air-conditioned room. You're thousands of miles from where the target's about to be killed. How do you feel emotionally when you say fire?
Well, the trouble is, in my, without getting into it, in my role, I was doing the terminal control of that, so I was sort of there when it was happening on the ground, making it happen. Yeah, so
you're calling it.
So it's do you get emotion involved? No, not really. You're a professional soldier. You're paid. You take the wage and you get on with it.
And do you feel satisfied when
it's not a question of feeling satisfied. It's a question of doing your job. You take the wage, you sign up to be a soldier, and you get on with it.
Professional satisfaction.
Well, there's professional satisfaction in a lot of what you do.
I mean, many people will be grateful for all the service that you and your fellow, soldiers and various other people have done for this country. But do you, now that you're an MP, it's a slightly different thing, isn't it, really? But do you believe that those who, and there are hundreds of them who are believed to have come back from Syria and are here, and we know that the Metropolitan Police and Scotland Yard and various say that these people are a threat. Do you believe that there is any way that these people can be rehabilitated, or is what they have seen out there so brainwashing that actually they are truly permanently dangerous when they come back to our country?
In my experience with this, each one is a case-by-case basis. Clearly, there are people who've been brainwashed who are naive and sort of gone out there. We mustn't, pretend that they've sort of gone out there by accident. They didn't know what they were doing, and we've got to hold these people to account. There is an element of them at the sort of tier 1 targeting level where I think they are reconcilable, and we need to deal with that problem as best we can.
But wouldn't it be a nightmare if you were to basically forgive and forget, let's say, a 23-year-old who has come back, is contrite, realises they did something wrong, but then later down the line they do something to threaten somebody's security?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that would be terrible. But the fact is, you must always abide by the rule of law. No one, the people have this perception of the security services or so on operating outside the rule of law. It's complete fiction. And at the end of the day, if a guy can be rehabilitated, or the Home Office puts a lot of money into things like Prevent, into de-radicalisation.
And also,
those
I
are
suppose
we've got to
learning
use.
from them what it was that turned them, because that's what's going to help protect us in the future, is to spot the signs
there's lots
early
of
on.
sort of